My first ever job was a job that I had when I was at college. I actually worked at Woolworths. So when I was a child, I always wanted to be a teacher. I never ever wanted to be anything else. It was always, I always used to like understanding things and then translating it to other people. So I always liked to break things down, trying to simplify things, and I used to love helping people. So throughout all my childhood, throughout my work experience, throughout my time at college, everything was geared towards being a teacher. And then when I actually did it properly for work experience when I was at college, I realised that it wasn't for me. Got into HR by accident. So I was temping when I left uni at a company called Royal Doulton, and I was about to leave that company, and the HR director at the time thought that I'd be good working in HR. It was called Personnel at the time, and she just approached me to say, would you be interested in a HR and training job? I just thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And that was it really. I've kind of never looked back since. That was 17 years ago. I've got my usual GCSEs and A-levels. I've got a degree in sociology and philosophy. I've got a master's degree in human resource management, and I've got a postgrad diploma in human resource management, which also incorporates my CIPD qualifications. Biggest mistake I have made in my career is we do quite a lot of restructures, and they can be quite taxing emotionally, and I suppose the biggest mistake I've made is getting too emotionally involved in some of those restructures. So I think the role of HR is to make sure that those are done efficiently, but make sure that everybody's treated fairly. And I think when you allow yourself to get too emotionally involved with some people you may know better than others, it can cloud your judgment. So probably there's been an occasion where that's got a bit too much, but I'm kind of quite well versed in it now. Probably my greatest achievement is we took on a new business unit a couple of years ago within the smart metering industry, and myself and my team basically needed to go in and almost start the whole HR framework from scratch. So we were not only going in and starting things from scratch, but we also had a parent company that we had to think of, where we had to do things in line with how they wanted things done. So our biggest achievement was really to embed the HR team in quite a short space of time, and now the team are absolutely loved and think that we're completely invaluable. The most important thing people look for in their career, I think often people look for the status that they get or the money that they may get from the role. I think often people don't look to do a job that they really enjoy, and I think the people I've worked with most over the years who get the most and are the most successful in their jobs are the ones that just love what they're doing, and the job is just secondary. It's if you find something you do that you absolutely love, then it's almost like being paid to do a hobby. Over my kind of time in HR, we've moved away from almost the tea and sympathy department into being quite strategic. So over the past 2 years, our HR teams have reduced by 60%. So we're very much less in the space of supporting line managers along the way, more towards actually giving managers self-service options, but then being there with the senior exec teams and helping to shape the strategy. So I think there'll be fewer HR roles in the future, but I think the roles that are available within HR will be much more strategic, much more commercial, much more business focused, and will really demand quite a kind of high level of commercial acumen. Advice for somebody wanting to get into a position like mine is probably just make contacts, ask around, and be cheeky enough to ask if you could just have a meeting or go along to somebody's workplace. I think most people are really willing to help, and most people are really willing to share their experiences, give you new kind of new views of businesses that you may not know. So just get out there and contact people and start to read up. Don't just wait for either permanent internships or roles that you may get. Just start to make a contact base, and what will then happen is that you'll start to get sponsors on the back of that. So look for networking opportunities. So certainly in HR, the CIPD do some really good events, and the local law firms do some amazing events. So the likes of Pannoni, the likes of DLA, do some really good events that you can get along to, even if you're not in the industry.